All right. So we're gonna have ourselves a little bit of a chat about retards. Oh, sorry, I'm allergic to stupid people. Bullshit. Anyways. So all day yesterday I had nothing but my fucking entire YouTube feed just flooded. And I mean, I'm doing other shit, mind you. I'm watching my chickens, taking care of them, making sure they're all right. Watching my dog, making sure he ain't getting out the yard, basic standard bullshit. Watching the property as is my job. And so, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, probably is some news. Might be some bullshit rolling around, but there's probably some news out there. So I'm going to check the different feeds. I'm going to check out what's in front of me. And I've looked through it and I'm like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Y'all motherfuckers about as dense as goddamn lead fucking, oh my God. You about as dense as leaded titanium. I mean, let me put it this way. One, we've all seen what A.G. Bondi is about, and y'all fucking kids sit there and says, oh, well, are you liberal? Is that why you don't like her? No, dumbass, I don't like her because she's a fucking gun control advocate. What's liberal about that? And y'all want to sit there and tell me, well, fuck, you must be a liberal. Y'all must be a liberal because you don't like A.G. Bondi. You don't like Trump and all that. No, motherfucker, let me make it clear with you. I don't like salesmen. I don't like liars. I don't like Nazis. I don't like retards. And these motherfuckers are 3 out of the 4. Notice how I did not actually call them a Nazi. Any words? I thought I'd run you down this real quick. So let's walk down this particular road. A.G. Bondi is out there right now trying to make it federal that you, if you're under the age of 21, may not purchase a handgun. Now, we all know that handguns are utilized for personal protection and have been since the foundation of this country and have been utilized by children. Yes, you heard that right. Children, since the foundation of this country. What's more? What's more worse than that? Oh, you know it's coming. You know it's coming. Felons and firearms. Let me make this abundantly clear for you. In the United States, by reasoning of deduction, if you cannot have a firearm, you are not a citizen of the United States of America. If you don't like that, I beg you listen up, because your ability to respond to it and to reduce that is very close to being gone. And y'all want to sit there and tell me I'm wrong. Well, let's walk through it. Violent felons may not have their rights returned. Non-violent felons have to sit there in court for decades to possibly have their right returned. A right, not a privilege, not something that I'm telling you, well, you can't do this. For now, because you didn't pay me for your license of it, a right, fundamental, as in, motherfucker, I don't give a shit, go do it. Now, here's the problem. If you fuck up on it this time and you go out there and you utilize that, you might get your ass killed. That's how it's supposed to be. But instead, we're going on this level of, No, you went and you did something stupid that nobody fucking agrees with, and so therefore you can't have this particular piece of metal and chemistry and physics, which in a nutshell you could literally make at home yourself and it wouldn't really matter because it's homemade, it's yours. You can't sell it, but you can have it and use it. There's a first fundamental flaw in all of this bullshit, but let's continue. In these United States, the Second Amendment states very clearly, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, before you get all hung up on that first part and go, oh, but well-regulated, no, that means well-trained. Okay? Let's get past that real fucking quick so that we can get into the next part. A militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the militia is made up of the body of the people. It is not made up of the body of the government or of a government entity. It can be called upon by the government in order to fill out the ranks of the government entity known as the standing army. But it is not itself a standing army. It is a protection system built to be able to protect the community. It's not even for fighting wars forwardly. It's for literally pushing soldiers out of a community. It is for pushing soldiers out of a township. That's what a militia is for. Protecting the community itself, not the country overall. Because by protecting the community itself, you are in proxy aiding the country. But you're not necessarily doing anything for the country. You are just protecting the community. This is what a militia does. A military, on the other hand, here's the difference in it, and it actually comes down to phonetics. Okay? Militia, military. A terry is an expedition. Alitia, an actual L-I-T-I-A, a litia is a sedentary system. Do you see how this works? Using linguistics and phonetics, you can actually understand now the difference between a military and a militia. A militia stays here. A military goes over there. It's very simple. Now that we've broken that down, we can understand the difference between the reason why the people needed to be armed, the people being made up of individual persons like you and I. Okay? So, now that we've broken that part down, the right of these individuals which make up the whole of the body shall not be infringed, which means you can't even make one fucking law against it without being a traitor to the country. Not one law. Because it's an infringement against a right. A right is not a privilege. It is not granted to someone. It is guarantored. There is a difference. Guarantoring something means that it is not negotiable. There is no way around it. It is guaranteed. It is going to always be there, and you cannot say, no, you can't. A privilege, I have to pay you for the milk that you get from your cow. To you, it's guaranteed as a right. To me, it is a privilege because I have to pay you for it. You see the difference here? Okay, well, but let's go into further understanding then. Arms are my right because I can make them. If I make one for you and you purchase it from me, it is a privilege. Unless you make one. But the right to keep and bear it, you can't buy that from somebody. You have to learn it. In which case, it's no longer a privilege. It's a right because you learned it. You didn't pay for it. Education is not a right. It is a privilege unless you go out and you pay for it and you learn it and it becomes part of you. Then it's a right. Just like my dad spent tens of thousands of dollars to have me go to school. That was him paying for a privilege. To not have me around, to not have to teach me. But me in personal, I learned the knowledge, and therefore that education is my right. Because I learned it. I went out and put in the effort to understand it, to comprehend it, to understand and know it. To realize within my brain exactly what the fuck it means. This is why knowledge is important. This is why it's a right and a privilege. This is why I don't believe that firearms are a privilege. Because it doesn't matter if you're a dimwit or you're a genius. You put the bullet in the tubey thing, you hit the back of the bullet and the bing bang goes that way. You see how it works? Not rocket science. Hell, it's actually really is rocket science, but it doesn't matter because anybody can do it. Do you see the difference building here? I'm going to run you through it one more fucking time so we're really clear about this as to why anybody can do it and it does not take a solid education. Tube. Cartridge goes in tube. Something smacks in the back of the cartridge. Cartridge goes bang. Lead projectile flies out of tube. Oh. It's not rocket science. Now, everything that happens elsewise about it is rocket science. But the actual fundamental action itself, that's not rocket science. That's just a human being smacking something with a hard substance. And before you says, oh, well, that's not a right. That's just, a human being doing this, that, and the other. No, let me point some out to you. Why do we have hammers? Why? Not what for. Why do we have hammers? It's the same reason why we have pliers. It's the same reason why we have scissors. It's the same reason why we have firearms. And I want to ask you now, why do we have hammers? Pause the video, answer, then press play because I'm going to answer it for you. Okay. Why do we have hammers? Because humans don't have claws. We have fingernails. We don't have fangs. We have regular sharp incisors. We need tools. We need tools. We are That is a part of our actual evolution. We are evolved to utilize tools. More so than any other creature on the planet, human beings are evolved for the use of tools. Large brains, opposable thumbs, weak muscles. We need tools. It's a fundamental nature of human beings. This is the reason why having a firearm is a fundamental human right, because you need a tool to protect you. You need a tool to defend yourself. The best defense is a good offense, which means that the ability to sling something hard at a large velocity, high velocity, in a particular guidable direction equals good defense. This is why firearms are a fundamental right, just like any projectile weapon. Now let's walk through it again, just so that people are fully and completely clear to why I'm making this video. What's the big deal? A.G. Pam Bondi is trying to block your ability to get a firearm by a certain age. We all know that criminals are going to crime. It doesn't matter whether or not they're fucking 18, 25, 50, 100, doesn't fucking matter. They're going to crime. A criminal is going to crime, doesn't fucking matter how old they are. Because they never learned the lessons that we're talking about here. Again, so that we're clear, it is your right to have an education if you learn it. Doesn't matter if you paid for it. It matters that you learned it. Did you go to the library to learn it? Did you go to the freaking, the dumpsters and pull out books and just start reading them? Did your parents sit there with fucking Hop on Pop so that you could sit there and learn the sounds of the phonetics of the words? It's important to learn these things. This is the shit that I went through. This is how I became an intellect of college level mastery by the time I was 8 years old. I started with Hop on Pop when I was 2. My mom sat me down and started reading the book to me. And then my dad would read the book to me. And then very soon I was reading the book to myself. And then my dad took that book away and shoved another one in front of my face and said, read that one. Instead of just, watching the different pictures and thinking, okay, well, this is what he said about the story. I want you to understand what the words are saying. What do these little symbols make sounds of in your brain that you then speak? And when you speak these words, what do they mean? This is reading. This is literature. So, now you have learned. You have gained a right. Because you have gained knowledge. Just the same way as, say for instance, I go out and I research all the knowledge behind owning a firearm, behind having a firearm, taking care of a firearm, and all this, that, and the other, utilizing a firearm for this, that, and the other. But I don't have the firearm. So I say to myself, okay, well, I need to have a firearm in order to do this. So I go out and I purchase a firearm. The state says, wait, you can't do that without going through the federal. You can't do that without going through this particular individual, and this particular individual, and that particular individual, and this particular background check to find out and make sure that you're not some sort of fucking person that we don't want to have a firearm. Let's be clear, that's what it's about. It's not about, are you a nutcase? Are you a fucking this, that, or the other? Did you ever commit a crime that was fucking overwhelmingly violent or any of that? Because, let's be clear, Hunter Biden got firearms. And that motherfucker did both violent and non-violent felonies, so don't tell me about that horse shit. And when you say, oh, well, there's no proof he was a violent felon. Excuse the fuck out of me. You add drugs and hookers and firearms in the same sentence, in the same situation, there is going to be violence. I don't fucking care whether or not you think that it's non-violent. There's going to be violence involved some way or another. This is probably why she dumped the fucking gun into the trash can, is because he was fucking batshit and he was threatening her, and she decided, oh, well, you don't need to have this around you, so I'm going to go throw it in the dumpster. Which is a real retard move itself, but at the same time, when people are on drugs, they're not thinking clearly, and so they're panicky. Anyways, fundamental right. Now, it could still be said, oh, well, children don't need to have guns because they don't know. This is the other problem with that. You create a break in the chain of firearms instruction. And you create the fucking violence that you are sitting there talking about being a massive epidemic in this fucking country by not allowing people to learn from their predecessors, from the people who already have the knowledge and already have done all the work. You're not allowing these younger generations to learn from them. Because why? Because they can't have a firearm until a certain age. So there's no reason, no incentive to learn about said firearms and firearms handling. Do you not see what is fucking going on? If you didn't get it right there, that was an actual kind of a clue in, a plug in to what's really fucking going on. Did you not see what is really going on? The Jews were disarmed by the fucking Nazis in the 1930s, shortly before being dragged off to concentration camps. What happens to a felon repetitively in the United States? Most often they don't have the right to have a firearm, but they get caught with a firearm, they go back to jail. They don't even have to be doing anything violent, have to be doing any kind of crime or nothing. But they get caught with a firearm, they go back to jail. Are you reading the room? It is a fucking hop, skip, and a jump from that to, well, you're not old enough to have a firearm because you haven't learned how to operate a firearm correctly, so you don't know what the fuck to do with a firearm, so you're going to be more dangerous to society, so we need to take this away from you and not let you have it. 2, well, all of society doesn't know how to utilize a firearm, and so now they're out there doing stupid crimes and dangerous shit and shooting up fucking walls and streets and all that shit, and little kids on the bus stop and everybody this, that way, and the other. So since you can't be responsible with a firearm, we're taking them all away from you everywhere. From everyone. And now we've made it full circle. Do you see? Do you not see? Do you have any idea of why I have a problem with any restriction whatsoever? Because it's not so much slippery slope, it is a chain of events. And every single time, it is directly linked to the exact same fucking problem that happened before, that we've been through before, that we've done this before, and did not figure it out the last time. The British confiscating firearms in Boston, leading to the Boston Massacre. The British confiscating firearms at Newark. The British trying to confiscate firearms all the way across the fucking country. Americans fighting against the Native Americans. Well, we're not going to trade these guns with them because they're more advanced. We don't consider them to be equals. The savages. You see where this is going? It's an all for one and one for all situation. When you allow one person to get fucked over, you are going to allow yourself or your children or their children or their children or their children to get fucked over. This is why I have such a stance as I do. Every single American citizen should be armed and should have to stand to their duties. Because the alternative is losing their heritage for some lofty ideal. I would love it for there to, tomorrow, for there to be no fucking wars. For everything to be fucking super peaceful, no problems, no this, that, and the other. The reality of the world is there's always going to be a shitbag having a hard fucking day, and he's wanting to take it out on everyone else. And for that matter, it doesn't matter if he's a fucking gangbanger, doesn't matter if he's on drugs, doesn't matter if he's fucking guys just having a bad day. That person is now a danger to society. He goes out, he does what the fuck ever. Say he's a priorly convicted violent felon. And this person goes out. He knows he doesn't need a firearm, by the way. So he goes out, grabs it from the local fucking AutoZone, mind you, grabs a container of brake fluid, pays for it, walks across the street to the supermarket, buys a container of bleach, pays for it, walks over to the gas station, buys a soda, 2 liters of soda, pays for it, walks out in front of the fucking gas station, uncorks the soda, downs some, dribbles the rest off, pours the brake fluid in, and then pours in the bleach, caps it off, and tosses it. Now everybody else has to deal with his problems. And he didn't even need a firearm. Do you see how much of a retardation it is for everybody around him to be disarmed? Do you see how much of a retardation it is for him to be disarmed? He's considered less of a human being because he was previously violent felon. So now he's got to go and do all this extra shit in order to make a chemical bomb to get his point across. Rather than him just having the firearm and then acting like a retard and everybody around him having firearms and they put his ass down. Do you not see the difference here? What you are advocating for in society by saying that we need these politicians to say this shit and we need this fucking, these gun laws in order to fucking protect us. By saying that shit, you are taking and making that a possibility. You are taking away everybody else's ability to defend themselves and making a bombing an actual possibility. Let's be clear. If somebody saw him pour the fucking brake fluid into the fucking soda bottle, they'd be going, what the fuck is this guy doing? As soon as they see him pick up the fucking chemistry fucking set, the chlorine bleach with the bottle of fucking brake fluid, anybody with a rock of sense and some smarts is going to go, holy shit, this guy's making a bomb. And they're going to shoot him because he's a dumbass doing it in public. Now, of course, it's still going to do some chemical reaction sort of shit because he's making a bomb. But here's the thing. He can't do it again. He can't do it again because he was just put down by that individual or set of individuals or fucking whole goddamn township who are armed. This is the difference. All right? That fucking gas station clerk didn't know he was doing anything wrong. He thought, oh, well, he's just adding to my business. The fucking grocery store clerk didn't know he was doing anything wrong. He's just adding to my business. The AutoZone clerk didn't know he was doing anything wrong. He's just adding to the business. But society itself knows he's doing something wrong, and they should have been able to put him the fuck down, but they did not have the ability to. Because why? Because there's a stigma against utilizing deadly force in order to handle a deadly threat. Who is to blame for this? Every single fucking retard that sat there and said, oh, well, you don't like Pam Bondi, you must be a liberal. No, dumbass, I'm a Second Amendment absolutist. I think that if you're going to go and blow up that chemical bomb, you need to do so safely and away from society. I think that if you're going to have a firearm, you need to practice with it constantly so that you're not an idiot and go shoot somebody that you don't mean to. I think that if you have any fucking rock of sense whatsoever, then you need to go and stop allowing politicians to dictate your life. But I digress. Because the reality of it is, they ain't never been. You've allowed it. You have allowed these people to sit there and tell you, oh, well, we need this gun control. And then when you voted against it or this, that, or the other, you didn't fucking stand up and do shit. You just kind of went, oh well. This is the way the fucking country works. They expect you to not do shit. They expect you to just walk the fuck away. This is why I use my voice rather than my vote. Because I know my voice is more powerful than my vote. My vote has never fucking had any goddamn power whatsoever because I live in a blue bastion fucking bullshit area of a bunch of politicians saying this shit and everybody being like, yeah, whatever, it's a fucking politician. I don't care what they got to say because they don't dictate shit to me. No, they don't. The police do. The police enforce what they say, ergo, they actually do. And the fact that the police are not putting them down tells you where their fucking situation lies at. You are the militia. It is your responsibility to stand up to these cocksuckers and give them the what for. It is your responsibility to stop them in their tracks and say, no, not another fucking inch. Not one more inch. In fact, you back the fuck up. That is what your responsibility is, and you are not doing it. You know how I can tell? Because I'm still doing it. But everybody's calling me a loser and a liberal and this, all the other shit for opposing the fucking regime in place. This is how I know you're not into self-governance. You are into being somebody else's bitch. Let's be clear. If you're into self-governance, you are going to stand up and say, holy shit, not okay, back the fuck up before you have to fucking sit down on your knees and pray, bruh. Let's be clear. You just done fucked up, and you're not allowed to do that shit. Welcome to the United States. Now, fucking learn the Constitution. And I mean, love it like it is your fucking very own flesh and blood, because it might as well be. In other words, I hate to tell you I told you so, but y'all have a nice day. This is Yo Guardsman on me, motherfuckers. I'm out.